So I don't know about you, but have you ever, since you decided to move abroad, heard this sentence? How can you leave me? From your friends, your family, your parents, your sister, sometimes. People are not always that excited for you to leave them behind while you move forward abroad to create the life that you want. So if you heard this, you're not alone, and if you haven't already, well, get prepared because you probably will. Welcome to our coffee talkie show.
We forgot the coffee today.
Because it's already noon. Honest time. And we hope you have your coffee or your tea or just a glass of water and some notes maybe that you can take, like pen and a paper, or just, a moment to yourself to enjoy and to get inspired about your move abroad.
Yes. So today we want to talk to you about the subject that we hear so many people talking about, but also from personal experience. It's one of the most common questions we get asked when we even start to plan a move or when we actually move abroad.
So I don't know about you, but have you ever, since you decided to move abroad, heard this sentence? How can you leave me? From your friends, your family, your parents, your sister, sometimes. People are not always that excited for you to leave them behind while you move forward abroad to create the life that you want. So if you heard this, you're not alone, and if you haven't already, well, get prepared because you probably will.
Yeah, and it's a mixture of two things, okay? So there is this notion of other people telling you, how can you leave me? And make you feel like guilty about doing it. But the other part of it is actually us thinking of all those people that we are planning to live, and it's usually coming when it's like family or older parents or siblings. And sometimes I see it a lot these days with divorce rates going through the roof, people that are deciding to go live in another country than their kids. Like, there is a lot about those kind of things, like who are you living behind, kind of, and what does it tell about you? So it's a mixture of what other people are telling you, but also what you feel about it yourself.
And we're going to deep dive into this topic today, so stay with us. But maybe share a personal story before. How did you felt when you left? Like 2 years ago you left, and how did you feel?
To be honest, I had so many people telling me before I left, how are you doing this to me? Like, how can you do this to me? How are you leaving me? And I had a really good reason to move. Okay, I'm a single lady, and I knew that I don't see my future there anymore, and I want to rebuild myself. My business just crashed down during COVID, and I knew that I will have to rebuild myself anyway from the ground up, and this was not the place to do it. This is not where I saw my future. I literally couldn't see any future for me there. It might be for other people, for sure. For me, it wasn't there. It's not the place that I wanted to build a family. It's not the place that I wanted to build this business that we're currently doing. And every time someone said to me, how can you leave me behind? I was like, well, clearly you're only thinking about yourself. But it was, I have to say, if I have to be really honest about it, it was only from friends, kind of similar age group and situation that I was. So I didn't took it like that bad, but I can share with you that 2 days before my flight, I went to see my grandparents from my mother's side, and I knew this might be the last time I'll see them.
And it was.
And it was the last time I saw my grandpa. He passed away, 2 weeks, 3 weeks after I left. So I had this feeling. I remember going back to the car and being like, this might be the last time I see them. And that's why I made the effort to actually go and say goodbye. True, my grandma is still alive, but I haven't visited for 2 years, so I haven't seen her since. But yeah, there is this sense of like, you don't know, like, there's something staying, and you are the one taking an action. Okay, it's not them, it's you taking the action. So you need, but again, you need to have a good why, where it's another topic, but it makes it easier to understand why are you doing that.
Yeah, and I think it's always easier to be the one that's leaving because you have some kind of motivation to do this, while the person that is staying back there all alone, it wasn't his decision or her decision. You just decided to leave, and they stay with the results of it. And sometimes it is harder for those. I'm not saying it's easy for the person who's leaving, because it can be really hard. We left grandparents, family that we might never see again. We don't know that. It's true for everyone.
It's true not only for grandparents that are old or whatever. Like, it's true for everyone. You clearly never know, right?
Yeah.
But I remember the time you left home. You were talking about the sibling, but I really remember the time. Like, and like, we love each other. You see us a lot. We talk here. At the time when we were teenagers, it wasn't exactly the same kind of relationship. But I was pissed that you are leaving.
You were pissed.
I was so angry that you are leaving. How dare you leave?
This is a discovery to me, because she looked so happy. Like, literally, the moment I took my stuff out of my room, she just came with her stuff, putting them in my room, and like, okay, bye. And honestly, I was so happy to leave and really motivated. Like I said before, I was really motivated. I don't remember anything, looking back and saying, oh, I might miss her. No, it was like, I had a goal. I was 18, doing crazy stupid things. I don't remember, being pissed or sad or even talking to me.
Yeah, because we were not that, because we didn't have this communication, so we didn't say it.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that I'm writing, my 16-year-old, 14-year-old at the time, writing poems to my drawers. I wrote a lot about it. I was pissed that you're like, how dare you leave? That was the thing. But it's part of life. And each and every one of us should make the decision for ourselves, for our well-being, for our values, and what we want in our life. And the fact that our parents decided to live in one place doesn't mean you need to still live in this place. If you want to, yes, amazing. If you're one of those people that are living for 10 generations in the same city, great. If it's I love it. But it doesn't have to be a necessity. You decide based on what you want. And therefore, by definition, if you decide to change something, well, it doesn't mean the other person is changing with you. Okay? So it's your decision. You're always having someone that is...
Yeah, there's always be someone that won't be as happy and excited as you about your move abroad. And that's totally fine, We live in a society where it's okay to do things for yourself now. In those days, you don't always need to live to please someone else, to live to make someone else feel better, to take care of someone else. And we're not saying here to you, be selfish, take care only about yourself. It's not about that. It's about taking care of yourself. Do things that make you feel good. Then you'll be able to support others better. Okay? And today, in this times of technology, taking care and supporting someone even from another country is possible. True, you can't hug them, you won't maybe be able to go and have a coffee with them, but you can still support, you can still be a good friend from far away, from across the ocean. You can be a good daughter or son, you can be a good parent as well if you're moving to another country. Let me share with you, we've lived very far from our parents for years, really for years, but ironically that's the years we had the best relationship with them.
Sure.
Like, we visited them, they visited us, we talked a lot, we had deep conversations that we don't have on daily basis when you live, and it's like the situation is given, you're living near your parents, then you don't make the time to really listen to them sometimes, to really open your heart when you have a conversation. So actually moving away really helped us, I think, both of us, deepen our connection with our parents.
Yeah.
And true, now we live by them, but we didn't come to France
because of them.
Because we wanted to live near our parents.
Yeah.
And I know our father won't listen to this episode, so I can tell you that he's like, yeah, I don't care where you live, I can see you once in 3 months for all I care. And but it's not because he doesn't care, it's because we have this great relationship that we built
over the years,
across the ocean and the sea between us, and from different countries. And we learned to do that. We learned to create these relationships from different countries. And I think this is what we want to show you, how you can do that.
Yeah. And like, as you said, we used to live apart from one another, and there are moments that you're like, I wish I was closer. Like, when our mom got sick at some point, we're like, or she had a surgery, and we were not close. We're like, we wish we were closer. But guess what? In most cases, I don't say it's for any case, because it really depends on where you're living and what's your situation and stuff like that. But in most cases, you still can fly, go, be there. So we actually done it. Like, I remember taking a couple before COVID. So teleworking was not that common at the time. And saying to my boss, listen, my mom is going for surgery. I need to be there. I don't want to take holiday because it's clearly not going to be a holiday. Can I work from there for 2-3 weeks? And that's what I've done. I literally went through. I was able to. I had the opportunity to do it. I understand that not everyone can, but I made this a priority, at the time. So I made it work. I found a solution. But was it easy knowing, like, after 2 weeks leaving her and seeing that she's still not herself full 100%? No. But it was part of the choices that I made for my own life, right?
Yeah, I remember after I gave birth to my second child, our parents, they came to Israel because I said to my mom, I need you here. When I give birth, I need you here. And she came, she was with me a few weeks, and then she left. And I'm like, what's happening? Like, why are you leaving me? Well, she said, I gotta go back to work. I live in another country. I have to go back, to my own life. And I was sitting there so miserable, both my mom and dad, they left the same day, and you left as well. Like, I was sitting all by myself, and I'm like, why is everyone leaving me? And then, after a moment of misery and some tears and being hormonal, like, that's the decision I made to live in this country right now. And this is far from my family, and assume it, this is what you chose. So, okay, so I'll find some other kinds of support, it was important for mom to be a great grandmother, to her granddaughters living in different countries. But guess what? We did, she read them stories on Skype before Zoom was there. And she came to their birthday and she sent them letters, written letters, with stickers, and we call her and like we came to visit, and it was like a great relationship. We built a great relationship, even far, like geographically far from each other.
Yeah, and I think that's why we are here to tell you, and it's everything we share here on this podcast, but on everything that we do. It's about how you approach things. Okay, if you're thinking, oh, I'm actually leaving someone behind, once you're gonna feel bad about yourself. It's quite natural, okay? But you're also gonna make them like validate their fear that you're leaving them. But if you think about it as it's a decision for your own well-being, now what can I do to still make it work? As you said, like our family, we became more family on over years where, like, true, it wasn't properly living, but we had a moment in time, do you remember it, that every single one of us were in another continent. Like, you were in Israel, mom was in France, Ofek was in Dublin in Ireland, our father was in India, and I was in Australia. And our WhatsApp group worked 24 hours a day because of the time differences. It was literally like, I remember first thing in the morning, waking up in Australia being like, ooh, I have 100 messages to go over. But we stayed in touch. We never looked at it as, okay, that's like end of the world, right?
And with technology today, it's possible to do that, to stay in a good relationship even from abroad. And I don't know about you, be honest, do you have friends from Israel now that you became better friends since you're here?
Some, not all.
Not all, but do you
Not
have
all.
some?
Yeah.
I to be honest, I have friends that I really appreciate even more now, and our connection and our relationship is bigger than before, where we saw each other, twice a week, 3 times a week, and now we speak to each other sometimes once a week or twice a week, but the relationship is actually better. Okay, because you appreciate it more,
And it's about choices.
Yeah.
It's what you decide that is important to you, then you make it happen. Like, I can share with you that when I was living in London in a student accommodation, we were like 800 students there, okay? Like, there was a lot of people. But I remember my parents, so true, from the journey from Paris to London is not that far, okay? It's like it's a couple of hours drive or a couple of hours in train. And I had an emergency surgery because I was silly stupid. And like, I'm not gonna go into this, but funniest story ever, silly stupid. I had an emergency surgery, and I remember my parents asking, like, do you want us to come? And I was like, no, you don't. Like, it's fine. I have my friends. Let me see, like, how things are going. I'll let you know. Worst case, I can always come to friends. And a couple of days later, it was the New Year, the Jewish New Year's. Now, we are not very traditional, but still, it's like, it's culture and it's part. And I remember my parents calling me, being like, so actually, we are bringing all the food in the car. We're gonna be in London in 5 hours. What are your plans for tonight? And I was like, wait, what? Like, what are you doing? I have all my friends. This is inappropriate. Like, and my parents were like, go with the flow. And I was like, you know what? Let's make the most out of it. So I literally called a couple of friends and we had dinner together. And those people, they're still reminding me of that. Like, they're literally sent me a message a couple of weeks ago. Like, remember the time your parents literally crashed the student accommodation for a weekend? It was unseen, but this is how our parents taught us things. Like, and that's what we're here telling you. Challenges are given. What's the opportunity in them?
Yeah.
What can you make out of it?
How can you make it work the way that suits you best?
Yeah.
Okay? And there are plenty of ways to do that. It's very personal, you know. We're doing it in some way with our family, with our friends. I'm sure there are lots of other ways to do that are suitable for you, for your specific situation, for your specific relationships. It's all different, you know. You're probably saying, yeah, but my parents are older. Yeah, but my parents don't understand me. Yeah, but my friend is sick. Yes, but my partner is... I get it. I really do. You know, we all have those stories. We all have those relationships. But the thing is, it shouldn't hold us back, you know, from doing things that we want and creating the life that we want to live. You know, whether it's in one country or another, we can always find solutions to make it work.
Yeah. And we shouldn't, like, if we listen to any of our other podcast episodes or watch any of our life, you know by now that our biggest belief is that life should be living. Like, we should really live our life every single day. Now, if you make decisions only to please others, only to reassure others, you know, it's not even pleasing, or maybe only it's your fear of what they might think that you're doing. You know, we hear those as well, like, what will my parents think if I leave them? Well, you can ask. And you can also come with the conviction that you are living your life. And it doesn't make you less of a daughter, less of a partner, less of a mom, less of a friend. It makes you you. You take care, and it's not selfish, it's responsible. It's part of living life. And I hear and I see so many posts on Facebook, people saying like, I really want to live in blah, 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 but I need to stay here because my parents are old, because my sister is ill, because my friend is giving birth in 6 months. Why are you holding back on your life because of someone else? Like, this is your life. You can still go for 6 months and come back for like the birth. You can go, maybe you'll make more money, more impact, be happier, so you can actually support your parents better. Maybe.
Yeah.
But
it's totally about you, you know, and how you create your relationship, how you manage to maintain those relationships. And I think the point here today is live your life as you want to, okay? And make everything around it work the way it suits you.
yeah.
Okay, not in a selfish way. It's not, I don't care about anyone in this world. It's all about me.
No, not at all.
It's not that. It's about making yourself a priority. Then you can deal better with everything else. Because if you're miserable in your life or you're having a hard time right now, and on top of that, you're feeling that you're giving up opportunities, giving up your dreams, your desires, to please someone else, to take care of someone else, to help someone else, to make them feel better, then what's the point in doing this? So you'll be helping someone or making them feel better but feel worse about it. So what's the point doing that, you know? And it might work for you for a couple of years, but the more you do it, and you know, your fantasies and your dreams will call you, and you'll say, no, I'm good, I'm staying here, and you'll feel like you're missing your life.
Yeah.
Okay? And we don't want it to happen to you. So stop missing on your life. Go live your life and make everything work around it.
Find the solution to make it work. So you actually do have both. So you do take care of the people that you love while going after your dreams. And it's possible, especially in today's world. Like, take a look at the era that we're living in. Technology allows us to do crazy things, amazing things. take advantage of that. I don't say leave your sick parents behind and don't care about them if you do want to take care about them, okay? That's literally not what we're saying here, but we're here saying make sure you live your life the way you want it to be and find solutions to take care of the people that you care about. Like, it's that important. And you can always find solutions.
Yeah, absolutely. There's always a solution.
Yeah. And I want to say one last thing, maybe, that is super important, that I know that I always ask myself. When people make me feel guilty for making something, whether it's business-wise, relocation-wise, relationship-wise, whatever, I learned it the hard way, okay? But when people make me feel guilty for my decisions, I always ask myself, if the situation was the other way around, would they care about my feelings, my desires, my insecurities to make their own decisions? In my experience, and I'm only talking from my experience, 99% of the times, those people wouldn't care about me. If they had a job opportunity, if they had a relocation opportunity, if they had a relationship opportunity, they would have not care at all about what I think or what I feel. They would go for it. But so for those people that are making you feel bad for taking those actions to live your life, really ask yourself, if it was the other way around, would they want you? Like, would they care about you? Would they change their plans for you? If yes, then it's a really good relationship and you can definitely take into consideration their desires. But if not, make sure you go after your own desires.
Yeah. So I think we are going to wrap this topic. And we hope it was valuable to you. And if you have any questions or you're wondering how could you do that, how specifically your situation can work, then feel free to reach out, send us a message, comment here, send us an email. It's so simple these days. The technology of these days. So simple. So reach out. Don't be afraid. We're here for you. We're here to support you, to give you tips and advices. We've moved abroad so many times. We left behind parents, sisters, friends so many times, and we still have amazing connections all over the world. All over the world. So
thanks for being here with us. Look forward our next episode. It's gonna come next week.
Yep.
And we'll talk to you soon.
Yes.
Bye.
Have a great day. Bye.